card game. So, a casino offers a card game using a normal deck of 52 cards. The rule is that you can turn over 2 cards each time. So, you can turn over each card. So at every turn, right, you can turn 2 cards, right? For each pair, if both are black, they go to the dealer's pile. If both are red, they go to your pile. If one black and one red, they are discarded. The process is repeated until you go through all 52 cards. If you have more cards in your pile, you win $100. Otherwise, including ties, you get nothing. The casino allows you to negotiate the price you want to pay for the game. How much would you be willing to pay to play this game? So let's just write down the premise of the problem first. For every pair that you turn over, the 2 cards, if both are black, they go to the dealer. If both are red, they go to your pile. And if one black and one red, they go to no one's pile, so discard. And you want to have the most cards in your pile at the very end. So how much are you willing to pay? How would this game turn out? Well, given 52 cards, I have no idea. But consider, in a 52 deck of cards, the cards that determine, what is the condition that determines if the cards go to your pile or the dealer's pile? It's the color. So how much of each color do we have in a 52 deck of cards? We have 26 red and we have 26 black. So because this is a very big case, let's reduce it down to its simplest subcase. In a 52 deck of cards, the number of red equals the number of black. So the simplest is 1 red and 1 black. And we're going to start from this case and build our way up to the resulting case. So when we only have 2 cards and it's 1 red and 1 black, what happens? Well, the only possible turn is red black, in which case they get discarded. So therefore, you have 0 and the dealer has 0. Hence, you would lose because you would lose if there's a tie or you have less than the dealer. So this is a tie. Hence, you lose. So you should not bet anything. Otherwise, you just lose money. Let's consider the next case. The next case is where we have 2 reds and 2 blacks, right? One above the previous one. So now we have 4 cards total. Well, let's consider the first draw. Let's consider the second draw. If the first draw were to be red-red, then the only possible draw for the second is black-black. The first draw is red-black, then it can only be red-black. But if this were black-black, then this could only be red-red. This results in you having 2 against 2. This results in people having 0 and 0. This results in you having 2 and 2. In both cases, we all tie. Hence, you would lose again. So notice that a pattern is starting to emerge here. The first time we tie, the second time we tie. Why is that the case? Well, the problem premise tells us that we are going to draw until the number of cards run out, right? Because it's repeated until you go through all 52 cards. If you finish going through all 52 cards, you have drawn out all 26 red. You have drawn out all 26 black. And for every black card you draw, a corresponding red card gets eliminated. Hence, at any point in the game, the number of black and red cards are going to ultimately be the same if you were to remove. Once you remove, the number of black equals the number of red. And therefore, you could just keep removing and it's going to preserve the equality of the number of blacks and the number of reds. And whenever you stop drawing pairs, well, the number of blacks just goes to the dealer, the number of reds go to you. So ultimately, you're just going to have the same number of each. You're going to have the same amount of every card, right? Because the number of blacks and reds are always going to stay the same after every discard. So it's going to have the same at every stage of the game. Hence, you will always tie. You can't even, like the dealer can't even win, right? As in the dealer can't have more cards than you. You guys will always have the same cards because of the logic of how cards are discarded. Therefore, you always tie, so you always lose. If you always lose, you should bet $0 so that you lose no money. Hence, 0 is your answer.